was a weird.
Alrighty.
Caleb. What was that?
That's because it wasn't a clap. It was this wonderful thing.
I don't know what that is.
We can't even hear it.
Yeah, I heard it the first time.
Oh, you really not?
Yeah, we didn't hear
it the
clap.
second time.
Yeah, it's the case that I
It's a
made for him.
screwdriver case. Screwdriver.
I haven't been able to use it because, I mean, I worked 2.5 days this week. Fucked up my soul. Anyway.
Double mic'd up.
Oh, we'll see if we're doing shit like that. Hold on.
I don't know what's happening. Oh, you got
Oh,
the Starfield headset,
Bro, that headband looks like it's about to fucking die.
Let's not break your brand new $100 Microsoft headset, bro.
It was 120. Fuck you.
Don't make me go grab my
120?
other 2 headsets that are in my closet.
I just have the one pair.
Wouldn't be the first time that you've had to come out of the closet with something.
And then there was silence.
That silence is definitely enough to just
silence
go
was
into
loud.
into the podcast. Hello everyone, this is Caleb Boudreau. I'm the editor-in-chief of An Extraordinary Life.online and the proprietor of this great channel. As always, we have Kyle.
Hey, he was
Hi.
late.
Yes, but he's always here.
Well, I've always
Ooh.
been here for the last couple episodes.
Doubt.
Yeah, the last couple, but,
I'm always here, even in
also,
spirit.
I'm Ryan, or Release Radar.
No one
who's currently
asked.
retired from YouTube.
No
No
one
one asked
asked.
you if you
public.
asked.
Did you just say publicly
I
retired
said
from
currently
YouTube?
retired from YouTube.
I didn't
I'm
hear
coming back
retired.
eventually when my work and school load is lessened. So basically when I graduate, that's the plan. But until then, I'm not uploading anymore.
Wow.
Swells.
Wow.
Swams. I forgot.
So the first topic of conversation that I want to bring up to you guys is I recently bought some games that were on sale on GOG, specifically Mortal Shell, Chernobylite, and Technomancer. Now, Chernobylite and Mortal Shell are both out-of-the-box controller compatible, right? Tell me why.
Bless you.
Ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
Damn.
But no, tell me why
Damn.
the controller function does
Nothing
not
but
function
a-
properly unless you launch the game through Steam.
Is it because it uses the Steam controller configurator?
I have no fucking clue. Like, I started playing Mortal Shell. Out of the box, it recognized the controller. The only difference is A is the interact. Pause is pause. But for some reason, if I just launch it through GOG Galaxy, A is both interact and pause, and start does nothing. Launch the exact same executable through Steam. Pause is pause, A is interact. Tell me how the fuck.
Can you
What?
change the individual button bindings? Because some games let you do that.
Oh, so you can. You can. But guess what?
It doesn't help.
The problem follows.
What?
If I switch interact to start and start to A does nothing now, and start is interact and start.
What?
Yeah.
This makes no sense to me.
And then it got worse with Chernobylite. So I started playing Chernobylite thinking like, okay, why not? So I started playing it, and then as I'm going to sprint, the on-screen keyboard comes up. And then just does not disappear.
Like the
no
Windows
matter how
on-screen keyboard.
Yes. And I close out I close out the game, keyboard still there. Minimize keyboard, nothing. Minimize keyboard, nothing. And I go into my like Windows settings. The controller shortcut for keyboard is deactivated. So why the fuck did the keyboard ever show up in the first place? Configure Steam to launch the executable? works perfectly fucking fine.
It sounds to me like these games were just brought to PC with the thought of Steam's controller API being at the back end of the game.
Yeah, more likely.
And then you bought
But
it through
why-
GOG, and then it didn't have the Steam files for the controller.
But then why is it that whenever I launch the exact same GOG file, just through the Steam launcher, does it automatically work? Because the Steam launcher doesn't add any files to it.
That's a question for Kyle. I don't I don't know how this works. I'm just thinking because like I know Steam has controller configurations
And
and
Kyle's
stuff.
just like
I'm looking into
just
it.
chilling.
Yeah, he's looking it up. I think. You can see whenever he opens Google Chrome because it gets so much brighter on
It
his
flashbangs him.
There it is. It's so bright.
That was me just turning on my light.
Wow. Hey, let me just open up Google
But yeah,
Chrome
like-
real quick.
But yeah, like it threw me for a loop. And Technomancer, it was so weird because even though the controller worked, it wouldn't automatically switch over to the controller. So like,
Yeah, I have weird problems with the
No,
controller on the
okay.
ROG Ally as well, where like I play a game that has controller support, but it doesn't, like Baldur's Gate 3 on the ROG Ally, the controller shell doesn't work. Works fine on the Steam Deck. I launch it through Steam on the ROG Ally because that's where I own the game, but I can't use the controller on the Ally for Baldur's Gate, only on the Steam Deck. Don't know why.
that's weird.
Okay, so quick little Google search and reading a Reddit post from 4 years ago and one from last month. You know, credible locations. It's because
Well,
Steam
of course,
is still
Reddit
running.
did. But I'd never launched Steam. Steam isn't on my laptop. Steam doesn't launch by default.
Oh, maybe the Steam controller service is running.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll play around with it, but it blew my fucking mind. I was like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why
Dude,
does
I
it work
love those.
perfectly fine?
It's so funny that Kyle finds like a Reddit post from 4 years ago because like I'm sure we've all had those random tech issues that nobody's had, it seems like, in the last 5 years, but then you find a Reddit post from like 8 years ago
Yeah.
that is the
found it.
solution to the problem.
I found a TikTok video that was basically that. Me having weird technical issue, Reddit post from 12 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's so true though. Like I've been in that situation so many
Look.
times.
Look, Google is not your friend anymore. It's Reddit
No,
and
it's
Quora.
really not.
Together?
QAnon.
No, Quora.
No,
Those two
no,
together.
No, not QAnon.
No, but those two together, boom, whole entire knowledge base.
Yep.
And if you're in the
But you
programming
know-
field, Stack Overflow.
And this is why I was upset with all the drama that happened with Reddit over the last like couple months with the whole API thing. Like I don't know if you
Yeah.
followed r/place, but like fuck Spez was like front and center.
I did r/place last year, but they only, if I remember correctly, they only used to do it like once every
This is only
like
the second
5-6 years. No, they've done it before.
This is the only second time
I was reading. Yeah, but I was reading that they had actually done it before last year, but they only do it like once in a blue moon.
I have a question about your room real quick, Caleb.
Beans.
Oh god.
So you got that little Lego space thing.
Uh huh.
Do you think there would be a way for you to mount it up above the Red Dead poster rather than just like put it on the shelf blocking the statue?
Yeah, I mean, watch.
because you just have
it actually
so much stuff
has-
behind you, but that would be a really cool place to mount it.
Well, it's actually planning. I'm planning on just reconfiguring all the bookshelves.
Okay.
Yeah, watch.
No, it just all comes falling apart. Lamau.
There was one time my dad just elbowed a Lego thing off the counter, and we. got
So
to build
this
it
is the front,
again.
and
Oh,
they
so
actually have mounting points,
cool.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
and
one of
they
them's
actually. It's not. Oh wait. Oh shit! It is. Oh, and what's neat about this? It's an ideas set, so that
Yeah.
means someone outside of Lego actually did it.
Yeah. You're welcome.
He's from Poland, so they have 2 Polish flags.
Oh, that's cool.
On the ends. and they come apart.
So you can
So that you
change
can
the
hang 'em-
layout.
You can change the layout, or you can hang them up individually and just pull the combining pegs out.
Is that a black hole?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a 2 moons,
So
meteors, rocket ship,
it's
and black hole.
um
Can you change the phases of the moon? Is that what that little tile is? Like, can you rotate
yeah.
that black
So
circle?
yeah. So it has four
That's
squares
cool.
here, and it has a bunch of squares here. So you can just
That's
change.
really cool.
I can make it really small. I can make it really
Waxing
large.
crescent.
Yeah, I was going to pick it up, but I haven't done it yet.
I'm gonna wait until I start working again. In terms of
Um,
money, we have no money.
Right. So that actually brings us into the next and most important topic. Have you guys seen a community project? And I say community project very lovingly.
No, you don't.
A community project of a guy who made a complete compendium of every piece of official Starfield news
Oh yeah,
that has ever come out. I had sent it to you guys like a couple weeks back.
I haven't looked at it.
I saw that.
Like every single press release, every single interview, every single everything ever released about that game.
At the front of it, he's like, "Oh God, why am I doing this?" Like,
But it's 2 weeks out,
yeah, just about.
or for the deluxe edition,
Yep.
or whatever they're calling
And I
it.
took
Yeah,
time off
so
for it.
the base edition for Starfield is $70, and you get to play it on the 6th. But the game comes out for us, Kyle. It comes out at 7 p.m. on the 31st. By the way,
Yeah, but
I
I
did
have
the
to work
time
the
zone
first,
conversion.
and then I'm off until the 9th.
I am working, so it comes out, but then I'm working 3 days after it comes out, and then I have class the next day. So maybe I shouldn't have bought the deluxe edition, but I'm going to be able to play it a little bit on Thursday afternoon before Friday the 1st.
Yeah.
But the game's gone gold, and the one thing that I was super worried about, I'm no longer worried about, because it
Which
is
is?
in reviewers' hands, and the review
So-
embargo lifts
on,
before
hold
the
on.
early access date.
Let me guess what your biggest problem is. Your biggest problem and your biggest worry was the start menu. Because that seems to be everyone's biggest worry.
Dude, okay, yeah, we were talking a little bit about this before the podcast. I didn't screenshot the tweet. Hold on, I think I still have it pulled up. Yeah, so Asmongold was looking at this, but the tweet is by this
Asmongold.
this guy named Grums. I think that's how you pronounce it. But like, he basically says the start screen of a game can reveal a lot about how rushed the team was and how much pride they take in their work. And like Starfield start screen either shows hasty shipping deadlines by a passionate team overworked or a team that didn't care. And Caleb, I'm sure you can like overlay the start screen for the people who watch the video to see.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah, I got it.
I haven't
It's
even seen it.
look at the podcast topics chat. That's the start screen. And so it's like a sun eclipsing over a planet that you can't really see the land of the planet because the sun's like the focus of the frame, right? It's really bright. Then you have the Starfield logo in the middle, and then off to the left side you have all of your menu items. And it is simple. And you have to remember that it's not going to be a static image like you're seeing on screen. There's going to be some sort of God rays, as Caleb said. Like, you're gonna the lighting on the planet might change a little bit. The sun might get darker
Oh,
or
wow,
something
okay.
like that. And then there's
Well,
going to be
I
the main
mean-
menu music playing behind it too. And I think that's fine because it's a start screen. You're going to look at it and you're going to press play, or you're going to press settings, or you're going to go to your photo gallery. Like, there's a crew thing there, which is cool. I think you can mess with your crew while you're not even in the game, which is interesting to me.
Well,
But like,
not even that, but like look at other screens. Like so you have the sleeping dog screen, only because that's fresh in my mind.
yeah,
Which was just red, like red text and billboards flowing towards you. It was just a simple animation that they played in the background with the start menu.
yeah.
Actually, I was able to pull that animation, pull a frame from it, and make the thumbnail for an upcoming project.
It's Star Citizen.
Wink, wink.
Actually, that's the old one.
And
Let me grab the new one.
but Ghost of Tsushima, I know you guys have played that.
I'm in the middle
start
of my
menu.
first playthrough right now, actually.
Okay, the start menu is a flowing glass,
There.
flowing field of wheat with a katana
Mm-hmm.
hanging out the ground.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, what the hell? What's your name? No, Caleb. If you look at, if you look at podcast topics, I uploaded the second photo is actually the most recent one. That's Star Citizen's UI before you start the game.
Like personally, looking at those two images, like the first thing that I want to say about like UI slash
it's
UX
just
design
it's literally just an in-game
screenshot.
So is it a static screen
It looks like the
or is it
Colours
just
one-
like a GIF?
The first one, yes. The second one, when they updated, no, it's kind of like a static image with effects over it, so you get like rainfall and stuff like that.
But like,
Oh, we'll see. Okay, but like that's totally fine.
I would rather
It's
have
still,
a simple menu than an overly complicated one.
Yeah.
Because that's the key to UI and UX design. If you don't have to think about it, if it's just there and intuitive to work, cool. I hate Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's menu designs. They suck.
They really fucking do. Like, and a lot of people have been fucking with them because
It looks like Hulu.
It's like why. It's like what do you want? Do you want a menu for microtransactions? Do you want the latest live service event coming up? Do you want this crowding this? Do you want this over here? Do
Yeah.
you want this over here? Like,
Here.
what do you want?
Here,
if that's the case,
You want to talk about bad game UI?
Oh, is that
God.
Forza?
No, that's the Crew 2.
no, that's the Crew 2.
God.
What is the one thing?
The Crew 1 is also like that.
Yeah.
If you remember,
Yeah, but here's the thing. Actually, hold on. Let me go to the original like start menu.
That's just like the
that actually
news
makes
tab,
me want to
though.
play that game with you again. That's a ton.
There's
of
a
fun.
start menu.
Yeah.
But after you get into the game, after you hit continue, unlike
It
literally
Pops that up.
what I assume Starfield will have, what Star Citizen has, what 9 out of 10 games have, is an easily found exit option to quit
Oh.
the
Yeah.
fucking game. In the Crew 2 and 1. So in 2, you have to go to options and then exit.
Wait, you guys don't just Alt F4?
No.
I do.
But in the Crew 1,
Yeah.
you have to pull up the options menu in-game, scroll to the very bottom, and then hit exit, and then say, yes, I want to quit.
I think there's quite a few games like that nowadays.
I know, it's so fucking irritating. Just give
And
me
then
the
you get
option when I hit
popped up,
escape,
like,
there's
so
a quit to main menu or quit
You have to
game.
press escape, and then you have to go to options, then you click quit, and then you get the pop-up like, are you sure you want to quit? But then they default you to no, so you have to go over and then click yes. 'cause
only
if you just
game-
click enter, you're back in the game. 'cause
The
you
only
clicked
game
no
that I
by
actually
mistake.
Alt F4 is COD because the UI is garbage.
Yeah.
No, it really is.
My favorite exit game menu still to this day has to be the Wolfenstein series. Because it's always like, are you sure? Are you a little baby?
No, there's a
Are they
couple games that,
scaring
like,
you?
make fun of you for like exiting, like, oh, you're too much of a pussy. I guess you're leaving. Bye. Like, and I think that's really funny.
No, I need to go to work, bitch.
Yeah, like Starfield's menu design is simple, and I think that's where UI design excels. I think that's like one of the differences between Apple and Android. Like people like Apple phones because they're simple to use. I put an Android in front of my grandma, and she's like, "What in the hell?"
What
is
the
this thing?"
hell?
Yeah, like it's stupid. But and I'm not calling Android stupid. It's stupid that my grandma can't figure it out. But at the same time,
It is kind of stupid. I have an Android work phone. I'm not a fan.
I have one
I like
sitting
Android
somewhere over
more
there.
than Apple because you can customize them more. But that's just, I don't want to talk about the whole Android versus Apple thing.
Yeah.
I want to
No.
talk about Starfield.
But I have an Android device sitting on my nightstand that I use all the time, and its UI looks better than Apple. But that's because I spent...
Yeah, because you
Probably
can do
like
that.
half
You
a
can
year
download
customizing
launchers
it.
and stuff, right? Like,
No, this isn't even done
But
via a
see-
launcher.
See, still to this day, my favorite UI for a phone that I still have yet to ever be able to own is a Windows phone.
They're nice.
tiles.
They're actually good.
The fucking tiles.
They're
But
actually
they have
good.
Windows 8.1.
I had a
I
Lumia
didn't like the
950.
tiles on PC.
See, that's what I wanted, but I could never find one. But hold on. What I would have loved to have is that, because the new Surface Duo, I think it's the
But that runs
the
Android.
Flip or the Exactly. It runs fucking Android. It's not Windows anymore.
Yeah, they killed off the Windows Phone.
So annoying.
Because it failed.
No,
but they didn't give it a
fail.
chance.
Okay, if we're on the phone tangent real quick, I want to ask what you guys think about all of the folds and the flips.
I'm
Do you
actually
think
getting
they're
a
practical?
Fold 5.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Switching from iPhone?
Yep.
He's had Android before. He used to have
I
like
swap
a
all the
S8.
time.
Yeah.
I swap all the time.
Yeah, fair.
I've had the S8. Well, my first one was an S4, and then I went iPhone 6,
I had a Note 4.
S8, and then I went to the Note 9, and then I went
I
to the
loved
iPhone
the
12.
I think I had an S2. S2 was my first
Yeah.
smartphone.
My Note 9's chilling over there somewhere.
Yeah, I went from the Note 9 to the.
No, I take that back.
13 Pro
BlackBerry.
Max.
Ew.
Yeah, it's because you're so old, Caleb.
Ew.
Dude, I fucking love Blackberries.
I never
If I
owned
could,
a
if I could
BlackBerry.
have an original trackball Blackberry.
Yeah, those were the ones that
I
had
would
like the
take it
little
in a
like the
heartbeat.
nipple in the middle of the keyboard. That's so weird.
No. They didn't have a nipple. So back in the day, they had an actual trackball, like an actual ball that you had to take out and clean and put back in.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, loved that thing.
They were actually good.
Yeah, actual like I've never really had a phone with like. I mean, I guess that's not entirely true, but like I miss hardware buttons, like an actual button for the home screen on the iPhone instead of just like this weird swipey stuff they do now. Like I miss the physical buttons on devices.
And see,
And I hate the notch. to this
I
day.
may
It's so
sound like
stupid.
an iPhone fanboy or an Apple fanboy. I mean, sure, I may have an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I may have an Apple Watch Series 7, AirPods Pro 2.
They suck you into the ecosystem, man. It happened to me too. I got my iPhone, and then
But
all of a
like,
sudden, I had
I
AirPods,
fucking-
an iPad, and an Apple Watch. Like, huh?
I mean, I have an iPad, but I use it maybe for YouTube every once in a while. It's an Air 2 from like 2014.
Oh yeah.
I use mine all the time.
But literally hate Macs. I hate the UI of the operating system.
Yep.
I have
I'm
a
not
Mac
a
that
fan
runs
of it.
Windows.
Huh?
I may need to get into that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the look of them. I love the feel of the keyboard. I love everything about it. I'm not a fan of the operating system.
Well, and I think it's-
to me, they're too expensive for what they are.
They are overpriced, and they limit what you can do compared to a Windows PC. And you do enough things on PC that you would rather just do on PC. For me, like, sure, I can use the alternative apps on Mac, and instead of using, app A, I use app B. Excuse me, app B on Mac. But I just don't like
Well,
Mac's UI. I
App
don't like,
A versus App B. What do you mean?
well, like there's like instead of Windows Movie Maker, I use whatever the alternative on the like the. I've never owned a Mac before, so like I
iMovie?
don't like it. iMovie, yeah.
Yeah, iMovie.
And like
No.
gaming on Mac, I think they're turning this around, but for the longest time, like you couldn't really game on Mac, and that's the primary thing I do at my PC is game. Like also I do online college stuff, but if I'm not
Halo on Mac coming soon.
really,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Halo was supposed to be a Mac exclusive. What do you mean,
Yeah, well,
really?
yeah, I know. It was also supposed to be like a third-person shooter, and then I've seen the whole development story of Halo CE, but Kyle, you seem like you want to chime in on this, so go ahead.
What the dog doing?
I am a Mac daily user, if that makes any sense. That is my laptop of choice currently. It's a MacBook 2 Air. Or MacBook Air M2. It's actually really good. I do play games on it, but that's because I have it dual booted with Windows.
Yeah.
But also with the giant rush of Steam and their Steam Deck has made gaming on non-Windows devices kind of like perfect. But
See, I'm still torn on whether to get a Steam Deck eventually or a ROG Ally, but I think we've already had that discussion on the show.
My perspective is, if you haven't invested yet, wait a little longer. A more powerful. It's the thing. Like it's like laptops, right?
Oh, we all know
yeah, you're gonna buy
exactly
a
what I'm
handheld.
waiting to invest in. So like, it ain't happening anytime soon, Bucko. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just looking at some cozy thing to play in bed, just get the base model Steam Deck and slap a micro SD card in there. Because, like, in all honesty,
No, that's why I'm working to find games that I can play
don't
with
buy the
this
base
bad
model
boy.
one.
or just get a G.
Oh
clock.
no, because you don't have the upgradable
Oh.
SSD.
No, you do,
in
but
the base model one.
the base one just comes with a piece of shit ECC memory.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So just get the
Yeah.
256, not the 5.
Or sorry, no, it's
Yeah.
an eMMC, not ES. Yeah, eMMC. So it's basically an SD card. Just pay the extra. What is like $100, I think, for the one that comes with the 128 gig, and just deal
Yeah.
with that. Or is it 256? I forget. I have the
Well,
top
that's why I
model,
keep-
So
That's why I keep finding controller games to play, so I could just sit in bed
Yeah.
with my laptop and just play.
yeah,
Yeah,
mine
I'm
lives in
thinking
my
Because I'm
about
just
backpack.
playing
all the time.
Steam.
breaking my streak of not uploading to YouTube when Starfield comes out. I might do a dedicated video for the ROG Ally and Steam Deck with Starfield, just because I'm curious to see how it runs.
Just chasing trends over here.
Well, it's just interesting to me. Even if I didn't
Nothing
upload
original with this guy
it,
over
Bruh,
here.
even if I didn't upload it, I would still do it on my own time.
I mean, fair.
So why
fair.
not just make it into a video that I can
Yeah.
monetize?
Yeah.
And
Ah,
maybe
I
make
tell
some
you
money
what. I tell you what. I tell you what. And hear me out. This may sound like we're colluding into some kind of conspiracy.
I know.
Send the files to me. I'll put them on the channel, so we can at least make some fucking money with this podcast.
Damn,
Well, so
non-profit.
No. So, help a brother out. Help a team out.
Why
We are a
doesn't Caleb
team.
record the audio in the video? Come on, Caleb. You
Yeah,
got the
it's your
technology
cha-
for it.
I actually do. So, fun fact, remember that snippet that we were supposed to cut from last week's show? Yeah, remember, Ryan, how you said you should have a backup copy of the audio, so I record the shitty audio on the side, whereas everyone blended in? Yeah, I have all of that still recorded.
that's fine.
Oh shit! I forgot to hit
Anywhere.
record. No,
You motherfucker.
Oh,
I'm
looks
staring
like
at it. It's
we've
going.
been- Oh,
I've actually had to do that before. A couple weeks back, we had my audio cut out and pause in the middle of the show for no fucking reason.
Can't build a
Audacity
PC,
just
huh?
like,
Audacity go burr.
first of all, Audacity
wrong.
just went burr and pause. You. Audacity just went burr and cut the audio. So I had to cut in the shitty audio, and you can't even tell.
Yeah, because your
You
microphone's
just the
that
problem. First of all,
Von Caleb, spend $300, get a good microphone.
yeah, let's just spend $300 on a good microphone. Spend even more money
Hey, you
on a
just spent
DAC.
half of that on
Just
a
buy a
headset you didn't
beacon.
need.
I just spent half of that on what?
On a headset.
bad. Yeah, use the headset microphone. It's probably better.
I love how I get so much shit for being excited about Starfield, but I'm not the one with the controller and the headset.
Okay, hold up. It's not even a whole fanboy thing.
Kyle took
I'm
time off work
legitimately
to play it. I can't even do that. It's like, wow,
No,
you guys
no.
have turned it into more fanboys
Okay,
than me,
to
huh?
clarify why I took the time off is because my parents
need a
told me
break.
that we were going to go on vacation sometime, so save up some time off.
Okay.
What
that's
I
valid.
didn't know is that summer of next year, so I was like, fuck, I got 58 hours of OT. It's almost the end of the year. Better take it all. I was like, I'll
Yeah.
take time off in 2 weeks. Didn't realize it lined up when Starfield released. So,
Yeah. No, I've been there
And see-
before because if you don't use your time off, it just vanishes,
Yep.
which is so stupid.
unless you have, it depends. Some companies let you bleed it over, but
I could, but
The-
I rarely ever take time off.
yeah, me too. Unless I have 2 surgeries in a year, but that's beside the point.
Uh-oh.
Um,
again.
But the only reason I bought this, okay, only reason is because I needed a new Xbox headset because my HyperX Alpha, or I don't remember which one. It's the Cloud Alpha. Is like so fucking old. The left speaker went out, so I can only hear out of my right ear. So I was like, look,
that makes sense.
I need a new headset, so I was like, I might as well get the matching one with the controller. It's only like $20 more than the actual Microsoft one, and it matches the PlayStation one as well because the PlayStation one is all white. So like,
Okay.
Wrong. I have the all black version.
Okay.
oh fuck you.
I do like the I wish the PS5 would have shipped completely blacked out. Like I've blacked mine out and
They
I have
now
the
offer it
Midnight Black
completely
controller.
blacked out.
They do?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Okay, well, I bought bootleg side panels off Amazon for like $30.
I have the first gen dark plates that you can't buy anymore.
Please, I was about to say, please tell me you bought
I didn't buy
the D brand ones.
I
I didn't buy the D brand. I've never bought anything from D brand before.
So we all know the crazy accusations and crazy shit going on with LTT right now.
To Starfield. Let's talk about the LTT
Yeah,
stuff.
D-brand?
hold on.
I don't use
Yeah,
it.
right. So I want to talk about that whole shit.
Your shit.
Did you guys see D Brand's response to it though?
No.
No, I didn't realize they did respond.
Oh my god. So D Brand's fucking response to this thing. I'm going to put it on. I want to try and remember to put it on screen. It was fucking hilarious. So they posted it on Twitter. And it was, if you don't give a shit about the LTT situation, skip this thread. If you have no idea what the LTT situation is, continue touching grass. If you want to hear our take on the LTT situation, keep reading. First off, a clarifying point. We did not formally offer to sponsor the LTT apology video. On the evening before the video was published, we reached out to Colton to ask how the team was doing. We've known the LMG crew for over a decade, and we asked from a place of genuine concern. Colton said the team is working on a response video clear of any sponsors. While we didn't explicitly offer, we've sponsored countless LTT videos. It was a fair assumption that we might try. Given that context, the joke at the end of their video is one we are fine with. This all happened on Tuesday around 10:25 p.m. Eastern Time, before the severe workplace allegations were published. Candidly, we don't think it's our place to discuss those issues. Taryn appears to have been taking the matter as seriously as a leader in his position should. Along with the rest of the public, we await the results of LMG's internal investigations. Once LMG resumes their uploads, you'll likely see some D-brand sponsor spots that were executed before their self-imposed blackout. Now, if your primary takeaway from recent events is, I want to see Linus stick his hand in a box filled with broken glass, don't worry, we were way ahead of you. We hope that LMG can use this inflection point to enact positive change. We'll be watching and waiting like everyone else. Thanks for reading, and go fuck yourself.
I
love
love their
D-brand.
social media. I read the end of it and started laughing while you were talking about like serious accusations.
no,
And like if the camera would have cut to me, I was laughing as you were talking about serious stuff.
If Caleb doesn't load it onto the podcast, the one where they're talking about sticking his hands into a box full of broken glass, it's just a photo of a box full of broken glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
so-
I wait as you started reading it.
Yeah, I laughed at it too because I saw the picture and then I read the last thing. I saw "Go fuck yourself" and I'm like, God damn. The D-brand social
I fucking
media
love
team,
D-brand.
yeah, they're so funny. But I want to just put my hat into the ring on the whole LTT situation. I think that hiring Madison was a mistake from them because it didn't seem like she really wanted to do it. She kind of just got thrown into the position she was in. And my dog's yelling at me, sorry. But when it comes to being an LTT viewer, I never went to LTT for benchmarks necessarily.
Yeah, no.
Like I would watch their benchmark videos, but for actual benchmarks and like actual like information about GPUs, I would watch Paul's Hardware, Jace 2 Cents, Hardware Unboxed, Gamers Nexus. But I like watching LTT for the chaotic stuff, like the moving Linus into his house videos or moving into the warehouse from their old house that they used to film videos in, and all that stuff is super funny, and like water cooling his computer with his pool. Like that's the stuff that I like to watch from LTT, the entertaining, not the actual videos with numbers and stuff. And from my perspective,
My favorite.
I think what they should do is create a new channel with a new team dedicated for numbers who are on top of it all, so Linus doesn't have to be the face of the benchmarks anymore. It could be somebody like God, I know they.
So they
transitioned.
actually did say that they were going to do that. They were going to make more niche channels that just did labs data on power supplies and GPUs and just component benchmarks specific down to the actual scientific numbers.
I think Emily.
But of course,
is their
that
name.
happens.
Okay, I didn't want
Yeah.
a dead name. So this is what like Emily from LTT could do, because they have a very solid knowledge base on all this stuff, and I would prefer to see Emily present these videos over Linus, because Linus has just become the face of goofiness on the channel, which is fine. LTT is
Goofy,
extremely entertaining, and it's nice to see people do those crazy Like cooling a PC with like an industrial fan. Like those videos are so funny to me. And that's the kind of
hell
content
no.
that I want to continue to see from LTT. The benchmarks, I don't go to LTT for that stuff. And that's my perspective.
The industrial laser cooler.
Yeah, all right.
Was
I'm going to
still
go put my
by
dog in
far-
real quick. She's yelling at me.
Oh, with the dog.
Sorry, I just started going through D-Brand's Twitter page, or well, now X page, I guess. Just looking at all the memes that are on there.
fucking love D-Brand. But yeah,
They now-
my favorite.
They now both own the domain I am very short and my boss is very short. .com.
I'm back.
No, you're not.
Fucking, and then I think they own the short Linus page as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, my favorite LTT content has always been their server shit.
Yeah,
See,
that stuff is cool
I don't
too.
really care too much about the problem. I just watch their content because
I mean-
it's funny.
I mean,
I mean,
feel like it's
workplace
important-
allegations and like sexual harassment is kind of a big.
Trust
Issue.
me,
Yeah,
but
I know.
The problem
but
is,
I don't care to get into all the drama about it. That's just how I
well,
am.
the problem is Linus is the face of the company, and it's just that side effect. While he might not be the person doing this stuff because it's Linus Media Group and Linus Tech Tips, he's the face of all the public backlash.
Yeah.
So even though
see-
he's not the one who harassed people or caused the toxic work environments, the people who work under him are, and he's supposed to. So it's like, in a way, kind of a little bit his fault, but it's not directly his fault. It's indirectly his fault.
yeah.
Is the way I look
Yeah.
at it.
The most nuanced take that I've seen is someone brought up his old statements from his "I think I want to retire" video, and he straight up said he never imagined the company would ever get this big.
Yeah.
He was never expecting to have a company this big, and he doesn't know how to run a company this big.
Which is why the
Like
new
whenever
CEO
you're
is
just a
coming in.
fun, exactly, whenever you just have a fun group of friends, everyone makes horrible jokes. You know everyone in the company, but the larger you get, you can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
the more professional
'Cause-
the environment has to become. You have to hire an HR department.
Exactly.
You have to have
Now-
business ethics training. Like, you have to fill diversity quotas. Like, these are things that just have to happen once you hit a certain size as a company.
Yeah, now it's okay to an extent of like if you still want to have jokes, but if it's affecting someone, it's a genuine problem.
Yeah.
Like when Madison said that she literally cut herself to the point of needing stitches
Well, she cut herself
just to get a
leave.
day off.
Yeah. To get a break.
Like that's kind of fucking bad, dude. And whenever she brought it up to her manager, now I'm not excusing this at all, but whenever she brought it up to her manager,
Are you looking for
Hold on.
the statement or something? Because you don't want to paraphrase.
whenever she brought it up to her manager, she basically said that it was I completely lost my train of thought. No, for some reason the fucking video dropped and didn't pick up. So we are missing 38 minutes of video. So yay!
Well, we have been missing a lot of podcasts. I was actually going to ask you about this. We could just put this one on Spotify and not on YouTube.
Well, no, I could just put an overlay over it
Okay.
and just put it on YouTube. Yeah.
Alright.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'll
even
do
mad.
that.
Yeah. But so if we're gonna do that, I'm just gonna pop. So with that being said,
You bitch.
I know.
Is video back now?
No. If we're gonna put an overlay, man.
Okay.
So with that being said, if she went to her manager, they blew it off. So she went above her manager.
As you
And Linus was like, exactly. But if someone's not really cut out to be a manager, if someone's not really cut out to just want to do this or whatever, like Linus has clearly stated many times, and he just wishes it were back to the small size that they used to be, wherever they were all just friends. They didn't fight, they didn't have drama between them, and he just said, handle it between yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, I can see that being a very big issue whenever you're the victim. I really
Especially
can.
with
I'm not
interpersonal
trying to justify
relationships.
that.
Like, if the manager in question is one of Linus's close friends that used to be with him at the Langley house or whatever, then he's in a position where he has a really close friend that has to make a tough decision in a managerial position that they don't want to make. It gets passed up to Linus, and Linus now has to make the decision on whether or not this person's cut out to be a manager. Even though they're friends, the company's big enough to the point where you might have to let your friend go of their higher paying job in the company to be a manager because they can't make those tough calls. And that could cause drama between you and your friend, which is why working with your friends is okay, but it's also extremely dangerous when stuff like this comes up, because it could ruin a friendship if you have to make the decision to fire a close friend because they failed to do their job correctly. And it sounds like this person did fail to do their job correctly. They did fail to take the right steps to, you know, make Madison feel like she had a safe work environment. And nobody should ever get to the point where they feel like they have to cut their leg open to get a day off. Like, I can't imagine being under that much duress where you slice into yourself just to get the excuse to go to the hospital to not go into work. Like,
Exactly.
you could have just walked out, but your brain is so overwhelmed with everything that you feel that's just like not even an option, which is just a lot.
It's really sad to think, but like Linus said, and once again, not trying to justify, but the reason he brought Taryn in is because he just couldn't take it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Which I completely understand.
Some people
you
aren't
know,
built
it's
for that pressure.
Yeah. And he wanted somebody who could do this, who knew how to run a company of this size. So he brought them in to make sure shit like this didn't happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with a company the size of LTT, like, stuff like this is going to come up in the future. Maybe not to the same extreme degree as Madison's case, but there's always going to be some sort of just bad behavior in the workplace. And it's unfortunate that it's common, but you need managers in place that know how to handle these situations professionally and are able to make the hard decision to fire the person who's doing the bad practices, or to like send the victim to HR and have, like, it's not easy when stuff like this happens, but like, as a business of the size of LTT, you need to be able to make those decisions, and some of them are not going to be easy calls to make, but you have to do them, right?
Exactly.
But I feel bad for Madison and everything that she went through. But then also from Linus's perspective, something that he has to worry about when hiring people is you don't want somebody to join the LTT team, become a favorite person for viewers to watch, leave LTT, and then start their own channel. Because that's something that he has to worry about. Like, imagine if Riley quit tomorrow. I'd go subscribe to his new channel. I think he's a cool personality. I would watch his solo content stuff. Because that's basically what Linus did with NCIX. He left NCIX to start his own channel. And all the viewers that watched NCIX Tech Tips or whatever watched because of Linus, and they all moved over to LTT.
Yeah.
And now,
but then again, right after that, NCIX went under. So
yeah, but imagine
not like
if
they had
NCIX
much to watch.
didn't go under, though. Like,
yeah,
like, I can understand his perspective of worrying about hiring people that are going to take an opportunity from working at LTT, getting in front of the camera, working there for 2 or 3 years, building up some sort of loyal audience that likes your videos, and then leaving LTT and starting your own channel. Because that's not, it's not why Madison did what she did, but she did take that spotlight and start her own YouTube channel called Soup on YouTube, and her own Twitch, which I think is just Soup.
she had it before that.
Yeah,
but the viewer base was substantially lower before that, was it not?
She actually made a ton of money on Twitch before.
Okay, that I did not know.
Yeah.
But
she had to give up her Twitch whenever she went to LMG.
Yeah.
And then according to the allegations, this is all alleged.
Yeah.
But they were also acting as her managers, where they would try and find brand deals, and they would take a cut of every brand deal, and she couldn't have a brand deal that they didn't approve of, and so it's just
yeah, no, that, like,
it's all really, really fucking muddy, and hopefully it all gets worked out.
And the honest
And
truth is, like, it's between Madison and LTT and everything that happened, and Belay Labs with their prototype that got auctioned off that should not have been auctioned off. Like that.
So did
whole
you hear
situation.
the actual, like the actual, this is what happened from LMG?
I believe so, but you can tell it for the people
So-
who don't know.
So Colton is the one that was in charge of all this. Of course, he's been fired like multiple times for stupid shit like this, but that's obviously a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he stated, "Hey, this is going to be shipped back to you." Handed it off to logistics in order to get it back to them. Went on vacation, and then came back right before LTX. Tried to see if it did get back to them, but sent it to the wrong contact at Billet Labs. Or instead of sending it to Billet Labs, it was sent to someone else, something like that. And in the time that it took for him to realize the mistake, it was already auctioned off. It was already, because logistics didn't know what to do with it, because there was a miscommunication between them and the business management team and logistics. So they didn't know they had to ship it off.
So
They
who
were
made
like,
the
let's just auction this off.
So at least that
It
clears
was just
the air,
miscommunication on every single stage.
but
Miscommunication between business management and logistics. Logistics not clarifying before adding it to the
the
auction
hard
list.
truth is though that shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't. I'm not excusing it by any means.
Now it's more understandable. Like initially, with everything that I heard, it sounded like they knowingly auctioned it off on purpose, despite knowing they needed to send it back. Now miscommunication at least makes it feel a little less, scummy, but it doesn't change the fact that a prototype that was worked on for years by a company like this kind of thing could destroy a new company.
Yeah, and it was one of them said, someone on the Reddit said, don't attribute to malice what can be explained by incompetence.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too. And I think that one positive side of the situation from Belay Labs is that nobody had heard of them until this. But now people are aware of them. And just your name being known is enough to maybe get some stuff rolling in a business. So maybe they'll have
and the
opportunities.
whole controversy made them big and popular.
Yeah, so maybe they'll have opportunities to ride this wave as much as it sucks and turn something positive out of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope happens for them, because they kind of deserve it, because it was just miscommunication on Kyle. What the hell is that a Dorito? Not a Dorito, a burrito strapped to a Steam Deck?
Oh, yeah, I posted that a while ago. I told y'all I was going through D-Brand's Twitter, so don't mind me. And that was one thing that I found.
Yeah, no, I think it's so funny that D-Brand is one of the only, social media, faces that I can think of that uses actual, they're communicating to the younger generation more than the older generation.
No, you're saying wrong. They don't give a fuck.
Which is what the younger generation likes.
Yeah.
A boomer would see that and be like, oh, that is bad language in my Christian Facebook feed. I'm not buying from this company. But
yeah, exactly. They're reaching to the proper market, and they've done that perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to circle things back to Starfield.
Starfield.
So, Kyle,
Huh.
the game will not have DLSS at launch or XESS amid AMD sponsorship. Is that surprising to you at all?
No.
Exactly. And people are freaking out about it, but what hardware does Xbox run on?
Shit, got him.
AMD,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's
More
gonna
like
have,
AMP, am I right?
Shut up.
bruh.
You're not funny.
But if this was 2014, we could talk
Wow.
a bunch of crap about AMD because they weren't doing too well, but they're doing better now for sure.
Way better.
But it's going to have FSR, probably FSR 2.0, and you can use that on an NVIDIA card. So it doesn't even really matter. Is FSR 2.0 as good as DLSS? No, but
Maybe.
at the end of the day,
Fork.
it's at least fork. At least it's not DLSS 1.0, right? But we don't know for sure. But Starfield Has Gone Gold, as I said earlier in the podcast. Reviewers are playing it. Starfield Signal, Mr. Matty plays. A bunch of YouTubers that I watch have been playing it. The embargo lifts, I believe, the day before. I believe it lifts at noon on the 31st. So my worry about it not lifting before early access starts is gone. I already bought the game. I've already invested in the idea of it being a good game. But like the fact that people are talking so much crap about the menus, and if it's a developer who has their hands on the game and they're able to play it, like kind of shows like if the menu is the one thing they can complain about, maybe the game's good and they're being petty and throwing rocks at a solid foundation that won't crumble and fall. Like it's not like it's Gollum, right? If Starfield is worse than Gollum, I might die.
Yeah, probably. You're welcome.
That would be kind of funny, actually.
I mean, it would be really funny in a really fucked up way for me. Like, but I'm excited. That weekend, I cannot guarantee I'll be able to do a podcast because I do have family stuff on Sunday before work.
Oh.
So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Uh-oh.
I want to. But yeah, dude, I'm excited. Like I've waited 5 years for Starfield, and now we're what is it, 2 weeks away? I can't wait to play this game, and I'm really jealous of reviewers because they're playing it right now.
See, if you would have kept up your YouTube channel, you might have gotten a code.
I don't think I would go from 4,000 to 50,000 subscribers in the month since I quit. That just wouldn't happen. Plus, I'm a tech channel, not a game review channel.
And?
I mean, I wouldn't get a code. I'm a small tech channel.
Let's see.
And?
Is my code ready to be redeemed, at least?
Yeah,
I don't know, is it?
I don't know.
My latest emails are from Walmart hiring because I'm going to be working weekends at Walmart.
No, it's still awaiting.
Oh,
Don't.
I can't wait for that game. Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm excited about Starfield, and it's almost here. I can't wait. And I'm happy Baldur's Gate 3 came out because that has been biding my time until Starfield. I've started
Speaking
so many
of Baldur's Gate
campaigns
3.
on Baldur's Gate 3, dude. So many people are just like, hey,
I
you want to
can't
play? I'm like,
spell.
okay.
Holy
Makes
shit.
new character.
but speaking about Baldur's Gate 3,
Bald man tree.
Jason Schreier made an apt observation
Okay.
about how Larian is not a publicly traded company, therefore it does not have to answer to shareholders.
Yeah.
Like other companies, Activision.
What?
Well, not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah. It's just Microsoft.
Blizzard, with all their microtransaction help.
Blizzard.
And
Rip Diablo
Sony, I
4.
think, is such a big company that they don't really have to worry about microtransactions
No.
because they have Sony movies, Sony music,
Sony Electronics.
Sony Electronics.
Is their kitchen
Sony
toasters,
Interactive
like,
Entertainment America. So like
motion. They do
if
everything.
if their games don't have microtransactions, it's not the end of the world. They can make the revenue somewhere else,
Yeah.
you know.
They make everything. Like,
But what do you guys think as far as the? I'm not saying he made the assessment, but do you think that publicly traded companies having to answer to shareholders
so
is kind of ruining the gaming market as a whole?
I think that games are art, and if you have to have your art approved by several critics that don't have the same ideas of what your art should be, or you have to rush your art to be able to pay those people on time when it's not ready yet, then it's going to have negative side effects. Now, there is a positive of more funding, but it doesn't matter if you have more money if you don't have enough time to get things done. And so that's the problem with games, and there needs to be some sort of legality to protect consumers from straight up lies from developers about the states of their games. Because like if you were to buy a microwave and you were promised a functioning microwave and it just doesn't work, and they're just like, oh yeah, in 3 months we'll send out a replacement part to fix it. Like, don't worry, for the patch is coming. That wouldn't happen. I don't know why with digital media and video games there's no legality to protect the consumer, because you still, even though the good is not physically tangible, but you know, if it's on a disc, it is. But like,
I mean, I'm just
even
saying,
if it's digital, like, you should not be sold a product that doesn't work, right?
just saying. Shout out to Height.
Oh yeah.
Bought this beautiful Y60 case. Had some GPU instability issues. We were pretty sure it was the riser cable. And so they sent me a new one. Come to find out, it was a fucking NVIDIA driver.
Classic NVIDIA.
Yeah, really though.
Instead
No
of,
video.
I was like, okay, how do you want me to send this back to you?
I was like, nah, you can keep it.
They're like, oh no, just keep it just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably cost them more money to add it back to their inventory. So
Well, that's
they're
not
just
a
like,
cheap
you can-
riser
This
cable.
motherfucker is $80. What are you
Damn.
talking
Yeah.
about?
Damn,
That's
okay.
why.
This isn't
Ryan,
cheap.
Ryan, that's why when my riser cable died, I didn't just reach out to Lee and Lee. I just bought a new case. It was cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was cheaper because the riser cable for my case was $110 on their store. The case alone
Your
is
case was like
120.
100, yeah, yeah.
Plus, I went
No.
with a different case that doesn't require a riser cable. But that was, I think it was 115 out the door at Micro Center, right down the road.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it.
But the whole shareholder situation, though, I feel like it has negative implications because instead of perfecting the art to the point where the consumer will enjoy it, you have to get the art done by a certain deadline, and it doesn't matter if it's done or not. You have to please your shareholders. And there's nothing you can do about it. With a private company, they just don't have to worry about that. Now, it is a bit of a gamble, though, because if Baldur's Gate 3 was
Baldur's
not
Gate.
made with the same passion that it was, if it came out as like kind of a mediocre game, maybe they would not have seen their return on investment, and they could have gone out of business. It's very risky for a privately traded or just a private company to make big moves like that, because if it doesn't work, that company can just go under. They might not see the ROI that they need. But
Exactly.
it's like it's a double-edged sword, because like you want your favorite video game developer to stay afloat, and shareholders might be the way that happens in between projects, but at the same time you don't want a botched launch. So
Perfect.
I feel like there needs to be some new just practices within game development, because video games have become one of the most popular forms of entertainment over the last 20-something years, and they show no sign of slowing down, because anybody at any age can become engaged with any game, whether it be multiplayer, single player, block game, puzzle game. Like, there's something for everybody with gaming. But gaming isn't protected like other consumer, like electronic things or just consumer items are. And you're so
Also-
often sold broken things that just wouldn't fly in any other industry, and it's just absurd that it's just okay with games.
How so?
Imagine
I want to be a little,
okay, imagine
conflicts
going to
oriented right
going
now.
to see a movie published by Sony, and they have not finished editing out all of the blue and green screens in the background.
You can legitimately get a refund from the theater.
Okay. But
then the theater will
imagine
kick the
buying
movie
a
out.
game and you don't have time to play it for 2 weeks, so there goes your Steam refund window. And then you sit down to play it and it doesn't work.
Just contact support.
Well, then why did you buy it? Yeah, why did you buy it? You can contact support at that point and tell them, hey, plead your case. If they don't give it to you, then, well, I'm sorry. But, I mean,
I can name
Why did you
over
buy
the
it at that
last
point?
5 years multiple games that came out broken. Halo the Master Chief Collection, Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at launch did not work correctly. Let's see what else. we
Agreed,
got
agreed.
here. BattleBit Remastered had server issues for the first couple of weeks because they didn't expect all of the players to come in. Halo Infinite didn't work with half of the things that they promised to work. Cyberpunk 2077. Let's see what else we got here. No Man's Sky at launch was just a flat out lie.
Still is a lot.
So,
And so
So-
these are just games that have
Hold
come
on.
out within the last 5 years. Can you think of
Like I said,
movies
just to
that-
be-
but what movies were not
let's
done? That
let's
came
not even
out?
talk about anything creative.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can't
Vehicles.
separate the
Hold
creative-
on, hold.
'cause-
We can't have a debate if you just.
But games are art.
Try and
Games
shut
are-
me up every
okay,
time
but
I-
games are inherently creative. Games are art. So
But what I'm saying, you asked.
Okay.
You specifically stated what other industries have the same protections that games have, because you could just patch out anything that you sent broken. Okay. Automobile recalls,
oh yeah, I know all about them.
appliance recalls, TV recalls.
my point is, we shouldn't have to have these recalls.
That's
though.
not a. Okay. Everyone agrees with that. But you asked what other industries are protected the same way games are. Everyone has recalls.
Okay.
The only difference is you get a replacement for free. Cool, you get a replacement for free. With games, they just have to send an update over the web. Is that the most ideal situation?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Jedi
But it is
Survivor,
the
I
most
forgot to mention
cost effective. Because you can't expect them to print a new disc, and ship it to every customer the moment that a patch comes out.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that statement, but we're at the point now where discs are going to be gone within the next 2 console generations.
I don't agree with that, but
Do you think that discs are going to stay?
yeah.
I don't think they will. Let me go
Until-
grab my
okay.
DVD player. Oh, I don't
Hold
have
on.
one. What about my CD? Oh, I don't even have a CD player.
Oh,
My computer doesn't even have a disc drive. And I feel like most
Okay,
people
but that's
are at that
you
point.
are living. Hold on. I love how Kyle's just like checking his cuticles. He's just like, I don't
I
even
feel
give
like
a fuck
physical
about this
media is going to
conversation.
die in the next couple years.
Okay, you live in a huge ass metropolitan area.
Yes,
Okay,
that's true. I hate it here.
where internet is not an issue.
I live in a more metropolitan than him.
but internet even there is not an issue. So downloading the newest game is no big deal.
We have 2 gig. Fuck
If
you.
you have, God damn it, Kyle, stop cutting me off, man. But like, okay, in my years in GameStop, I was in a rural area. Not everybody had internet connection. We literally had to tell people whenever they bought games. Everybody was super excited for Black Ops 4 to come out. A lot of people had to cancel their pre-orders because it was announced that it was internet only. It was online only. So they couldn't play it. Even despite the government spending billions of dollars on internet service providers expanding internet connectivity across the country, and the ISPs just going and pocketing it on hookers and blow. Despite all of that,
That's funny.
a lot of places don't have internet, or if they have internet, they have satellite internet that's less than a megasecond.
DLS, let's go.
My counterpoint to that is, let's go to
There is
GameStop,
no-
buy a brand new game, put it in your console without internet. You're going to have to download the day one patch. The game's probably not all going to be on that
That's
one
not
disc.
the. I am agreeing with you
Yeah.
that games need to come out fixed. I am
No,
agreeing
okay,
with you.
Let's remove
But
the day one patch.
physical-
Full games don't
physical-
even fit on one disc anymore.
God.
Because you can think of a game that you buy that comes with one disc, but you have to put it into the console and you have to download the rest of the game files before you can even play the game. I've experienced
Then
that.
it's online only. It is labeled as online only at that point.
Even if you can play the game,
If
single
you
player
have to,
after
if
that
you have
download
to,
with no online
yes,
connection. Okay.
because you need internet connection to download the rest of the game.
Look, I've moved so far beyond physical media, and looking behind you, you have.
But your experience doesn't dictate everyone's.
And
It's
I
my
guess that
point.
is-
Well, I have a
true.
question. When was the last game that came out that was less than 50 gigabytes on a disc?
You have to specify
Yeah,
triple A
AAA
game,
games.
though,
Yes.
because there's a lot of
Okay.
well,
I want to say it was a Plague Tale Requiem, actually.
okay.
It was 51.
Caleb's very passionate about physical media.
was
He will
51
he will
gigs.
die on this hill. It was 51 gigs.
What about Callisto Protocol?
God, I forgot about that game. That was such a disappointment.
It was actually 44.
All right.
But for PC, it was 75.
But they don't have to compress
PC,
the
you have to
files.
buy it digitally.
Yeah.
True. But it's getting to the point where games are larger than 50 gigs automatically. So Blu-rays wouldn't work.
That's my point.
But all of the consoles are 4K Blu-rays.
Still.
That's 75 gigs.
Let's just laughs in Call of Duty, laughs in Starfield, laughs in Red Dead Redemption,
It's
laughs in Grand Theft
saying
Auto.
that maximum's 100 gigs, but games are getting larger than that. Starfield's
Well,
125.
I get that. Well, no. Okay, so I'm
125,
I'm not
Ryan.
saying that you're
That's 140.
that you're
I already looked
wrong.
it up.
But look at Red Dead Redemption 2. Look at
128 gigs on PC.
Yes, but
Okay.
the discs whenever it came out, was 2 discs. You had the first disc, which had half the files. The second disc had the other half.
Yeah,
I remember my first
that's why
2-disc
discs
game.
should stop being a thing.
It was Halo 4. Think about the environment, Caleb.
You
all
can't
the
phase
plastic
them
waste.
out.
Yes, you
all
can.
The
I
plastic waste.
agree with you. You can't phase them out until the internet expands into rural areas.
No.
You're cutting out a significant chunk of your player base at that point.
In rural Texas, they have decent internet.
Yeah.
Not everyone is rural fucking Texas, though. Look at South Dakota. I know
Okay.
it doesn't actually exist,
doesn't.
but
That whole area, the Midwest, fuck them.
West Virginia.
Fuck the Midwest. They don't exist.
but you
It's
know what
all
I'm saying,
Wisconsin.
though? Like, you can't just isolate an entire... God damn it.
The cheese
We're
consumed
just
all.
divulging at this point.
No, but like I see what you're saying, but even still, from the way things are going, maybe discs will still be sold at small shops in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. But like when it comes to most major cities, and like, because you can region your stuff, right? So maybe in parts of the world that don't have good internet is where the discs come out, and US becomes digital only.
Okay, but not everyone in the U.S. has a fast enough internet connection to download a game in 3 fucking days.
Sucks for them.
Oh my god. You're literally isolating an entire chunk of a market.
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying that it's the direction that I feel like things are heading, because as a business, how much money would you save not printing those discs that only 20% of your player base, if not less, actually purchases?
Where'd you get that number? 20%.
I just pulled it out of my ass. You don't have
He's
to
really
be
good
so
at that.
specific. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
like how
what
about you
percentage of
pulled the
players in
plug
the
out of
US
your ass too?
How many players in the US, what percentage do you think actually play physical discs compared to digital now?
I mean, whenever I was working at GameStop, quite
How
a
long
few
ago was
people
that?
bought discs. 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago? But obviously you're going to see people buy discs
3 years
'cause you
ago,
work at a
something like that?
GameStop. I go to the GameStop over here and it's barren. There's maybe only ever one other customer in the store. At peak
Once again,
hours.
metropolitan city. You have access to that amount of speed for your internet. You can afford at that point to have, maybe not monetarily afford, but if you were to download a game, it wouldn't take you 4 days.
I'm just looking at a report from ERA where they said that 90% of video game sales in 2022 were digital only.
So it's 10%.
Yeah. And the year before, it was 28% physical. It's
But
going down.
I don't disagree with you, Caleb, but at the same time, we're in the digital age now. Like, the future is
Well,
now,
I get
old man.
that. But we can stop the conversation after this.
I'm having fun
At
with
the-
this conversation.
At the end of the day, you don't own anything that you purchase digitally if it has DRM.
Okay.
People at this point in time will take the convenience of owning it digitally over having to go drive to the store and buy it in person. That's just
Okay.
that's the world we live in. Look at Netflix, look at Spotify, look at Apple Music, look at HBO Max, look at Disney Plus, look at all these other streaming platforms. You know, in the dark future, we could have a situation where every launcher, like we do right now, but it gets worse. Sony games are available on the Sony PC storefront and only on the Sony PC storefront. It's going to be like Steam's going to be like Netflix, where everybody comes to Steam, but then they're going to realize they can make money having their own launchers, just like with streaming services, where everything was
And
on
they all
Netflix,
failed.
and they all branch off. Disney Plus is not a failure. Neither is HBO Max.
You
Neither
said
is
game
Hulu.
launchers.
But they weren't ready for it yet because physical media was still around, and Steam is super convenient. But like I see it happening. It's happened with everything else. Why would it not happen here?
So
It happened
okay,
with all the streaming services. Everything was on
EA
Netflix, and then they all branched out.
EA, with as large as they are, okay, took everything off of Steam specifically to have their own launcher. What did they end up putting back on Steam?
All of their games. I guess gamers
Ubisoft. Ubisoft took everything off of Steam
As cringy
to
as it
put it on their
sounds,
own launcher.
gamers are the people that will speak with their wallets. As cringy as it is, they won't just take it like other forms of entertainment. Like The Office removed from Netflix, everybody's like, guess I have to sign up for Peacock. You could have just not done that, and you could have waited for it to come back. They could have bent the knee.
I'm just
Peacock
waiting for
could
the
have said,
day
oops.
that physical games become storage rather than a DVD.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, like
That would be
Nintendo is
cool.
working on a 64 gigabyte version of their cartridge because their games are already beating the 13.5 gigabyte maximum that their cartridge has.
Yeah.
There's going to be a day
But
where
my
the
biggest
discs
thing-
disappear and it becomes things like SSDs. Basically cartridges
Yeah.
all
It's
over
basically, it's already happened with music. It's already happened with movies. It's already happened with TV. There's no reason why it wouldn't happen with gaming.
Well, okay.
It's already
so I want
happened.
to ask you guys a question. Okay. As far as this goes, okay, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Okay.
Whenever the definitive editions came out, they removed the original editions off of the PC marketplaces. Unless you own them. Because they can't take that away from you technically.
Yeah.
It's already in your library. If you did, they could, have some fun little lawsuits on their hands. Or they might just not want to try. Okay? I have all 3 of the original things. But what if they decided to take that off? I spent money on these. Technically, all they have to do is revoke the license.
So
Yeah.
Once they revoke that license, I can no longer play the games that I paid for. That's why I love GOG. I'm like, this isn't a sponsored spot by GOG.
Okay, I do wanna
but whenever
clear
you
something.
purchase it, you literally can store it. Like, I can store it on my server and then put it on a flash drive or connect my other computer to it, transfer the file, and play it on there without ever having to worry about logging into GOG again.
I want to be clear. Morally, I agree with you. But I'm just talking about, like, with the way things are heading, it's just like, think about Star Wars, the first Star Wars ever filmed. The original
Yeah.
cut of that movie, the original version that was not,
It's gone.
it's gone. And if you own the original version on VHS, is what it would be, right? You could probably still watch it.
Well,
Yeah, it would have been VHS because it was like 80 something or 70 something.
yeah, well, I was going to say technically reel to reel, but I don't think they made any changes between the reel to reel in theaters and the VHS cut. So, yeah.
So if you own the VHS cut, that's like the original version of Grand Theft Auto 3. But on Disney Plus, you can watch the edited version of the movie because George Lucas never could make up his mind. And that's like the definitive edition. It's not the same thing, and the people who own that original cut of the movie can still watch the original version of the movie. But if you log on to Disney Plus or if you log on to Steam today, you wouldn't see the original GTA 3. You wouldn't see the original first Star Wars. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, well, so you can, while I agree with you, you can also see that directors like Steven Spielberg and a couple others have also tried to preserve all of those movies. Like, if you haven't noticed, a lot of these old movies are coming out with Blu-ray copies out of fucking nowhere. It's because of the preservation that they're trying to do. They're trying to remaster them so that they're not lost to time. They're not lost and stuck on their original film reels forever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that people are trying to do with games.
Yeah. And
you
I
know?
think preserving games is really cool. But it's like, morally, I
But
wish
if it's
I
an
could just...
always online game, they shut those servers down, you lose that forever.
I saw
if there is an
somebody,
always online DRM, you lose that forever because
Yeah.
it can no longer attach itself to those servers.
And that is where I feel like legality needs to come in to protect the consumer from the money that they've spent on these digital versions of the game. They should still be able to have those files and have access to those files because, once again, I still see discs fading from popularity completely in the next, like, by 2034, like, discs aren't really going to be prevalent anymore at all. We're moving to all digital. And it sucks that, like, I got into, somebody said, oh, Starfield looks boring. It's single player. I'm like, well, when your Call of Duty servers go down, that's it. Good night. Like Starfield
Yeah.
will still be accessible because like Morrowind is still accessible, Oblivion's still accessible, Skyrim's still accessible. You'll still be able to play Starfield 10, 20 years from now because that's how it works for Bethesda games. But like multiplayer game, once Titanfall 1 goes down, that's it. Like Titanfall 1 didn't even have a campaign.
No, it didn't. And it's sad. And Titanfall 2,
That campaign was good.
once Apex, the campaign is great. By the way, do they have peer-to-peer co-op for that campaign? Or was it tied to the servers that they shut down?
I don't know.
Kyle, do you know?
What? I wasn't listening.
Titanfall
Peer
2.
of course you weren't. Titanfall 2, the co-op, was that tied to the servers that they shut down?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can't even play co-op on Titanfall 2 anymore.
No. Well,
So
yes, you can.
There's a way to spoof it.
No, it's not even that. It's a whole different launcher. I think it's called Atlas. I forget.
so yeah, it's a mod.
Yeah, basically. Let me
Okay.
see.
Like
I
the
have it on.
IW4.
It's like Beam and
stuff.
it's like Beam and P.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see,
Where
so
is it?
if people have to go out of their way to regain full
It's
control
North
of a
Star,
game that they
sorry.
paid for, like that's bad.
Yeah, but at the same time, games fade in popularity. So it's no surprise that like the first Call of Duty game is not active online as much as the new Call of Duty game because there's a new one. There's a shiny new toy to play with, right?
Well, true, but you can always, at the end of the day, come and grab Freedom Fighters. It's done.
Yeah.
You can't find it on PC. They've taken it off of every game like site unless you buy a physical copy. Granted, sure, I will give it to you. It is from a lost age, right? Unless you download a ROM. Not saying that that's what you should do, but
I think you should be able to access ROMs for games that you legally own a copy to. I feel like video games should be preserved in the same vein that there's efforts being made by directors to preserve movies. Art should not be lost to
Agreed.
time.
agreed. Absolutely agreed. So,
Because imagine like you were in your 20s working on that game and now you're 50, 60 something and it's been delisted and you're like, that was one of the biggest projects in my life and nobody can access or play it anymore. Like that's gotta suck.
well, see, I think Jet Li said it best in an interview whenever they were making Rise to Honor. I could try and remember to put that at the end of this, like the audio from it.
Okay.
He said, whenever I'm so old that I can no longer do all of these martial arts moves, I can no longer pull off these crazy stunts. At the end of the day, I can go back and look at all my old movies, and I can go back and I can play these video games that I had a hand in making and redo all of these again.
Yeah.
Like I can do these things again. I can see myself doing these things again. And you just can't get that with any form of media. But if they become abandonware, then that's kind of shit, bro. Not gonna lie.
No,
It's sad to see that companies are moving towards that.
Yeah,
And I think
but
the only thing that'll stop them is physical media.
but they know that and they don't want it to stop them, so they're going to move away from it. Like I'm not saying what they're doing is morally correct. It's not, but
Well, you can look at
do they ever
limited
do
run
what's morally
games.
correct? Like, do giant companies ever do the right thing?
Well, look at limited run games.
I don't know.
They
what
are
that is.
taking a lot of it's the company that made this, the Martha's Dead Collector's Edition.
Okay.
It's a AA studio. It's generally it was originally supposed to just be a digital only, but then they got the rights to make a physical copy of it. And it still receives the exact same updates that the digital copy does, but another company is like, hey, we want to make your game physical to increase the market share.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me. I'm not just some crazy kooky whack job that's like, oh, I don't want to get anything other than physical games.
Back in my day before the interwebs, you bought a game and it was done.
But like, it's 100% just like there are a lot of people who don't want to let go of physical media because whenever you own it, whenever you can put your hands on it, it is yours.
Yeah.
No one can take that from you unless they rob you. Obviously,
I'll rob
you can
you.
still be robbed.
Well,
I'll rob you.
Hey, don't tease me with a good time,
Whoa.
big boy.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see what people who made it this far on the podcast think about the whole physical media versus digital media thing, because I think en masse, most people at this point have fully converted to digital, myself included. Like, I still have my Xbox 360 with my Xbox 360 games, but even on the Xbox 360, which was a console that was like early 2010s, like
They're actually about to shut that store down.
Yeah, but most of my library there was digital, but I've been on PC long enough where I've repurchased all those games that I used to play on PC. So I don't even care.
Yeah.
I've moved to a new platform that's not going to be shut down because it's PC, right? Like,
Well, you say that, but there are games that are just disappearing from storefronts that you can only find on GOG because they're so old that they don't even care about DRMs anymore. Like Mirror's Edge, the original Mirror's Edge.
Oh my god.
never played it.
Only place I was able to find it, GOG.
I've played Catalyst. I have a vivid memory.
The
Kyle.
original, so much better than Catalyst.
Yeah, no, I have a vivid memory of playing that at Alpine. That was the game that I played at Alpine. It was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It was like this little gaming event that his church did or something. His old church.
But the Saboteur, it's a game by EA.
Mm-hmm.
Only place that you can find it on PC anymore is on GOG.
Yeah.
Hell, look, let me look on my wish list on GOG.
Yeah,
Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Only place you can find it on PC is GOG.
Those were on PC?
Yeah.
I thought that was Xbox only.
The original Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solids. Only place you can find them on PC anymore is GOG.
I had no idea Metal
Like
Gear.
the original DOS
I thought the originals
games.
were only on like the PlayStation.
Uh-uh.
Huh. Because I know Survive was on PC. Was Metal Gear 4 on PC?
No.
Because they're remaking 3
That was a
right now.
that was a PS4 exclusive.
Okay, I got one more question before we head off for the day. But what are y'all's thoughts on the vast increase of remakes? It seems like there's been more big remakes than like actual new original IPs.
I'm getting tired of it.
I'm getting tired of it
I'm
too.
honestly getting tired of it as well. The only
there's
only
Rockstar.
time I can see there being like remakes of old games is if it's so old that the controls are so, like, for instance,
GoldenEye.
the Metal Gear Solid ones. If they want to make those modern because they want to continue the series and they want to catch people up, I'm wholeheartedly behind that.
Yeah.
But if all you want to do is rehash old ideas because you can't think of anything else, then no.
And
Like,
fuck
come on.
you.
Or if the old version of the game just becomes completely inaccessible and they want to move, they want that art to come back
Well,
and
don't
they
call
have
it
the
a
ability
remaster.
to
Just
remaster
port
it.
it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they could port it.
Or just
they
do a
could-
digital or just do a pixel remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like make it look more beautiful but have the same game. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what Halo's done with the MCC. Like, they brought Halo 1 and 2 back after sunsetting the servers on the Xbox 360. I mean, it was before they shut the servers down, but you can still play those games online. Not the original Xbox 360 version, but like 1, 2, 3, ODST, and 4 are still playable on the Xbox One and PC because of the MCC.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh. This is an old one. Soldier of Fortune Payback.
Never even heard of that. What year did that come out?
Soldier of Fortune Payback came out 2007.
This game is rated 2.1 out of 5 on GOG.com and like 2-star. Oh, this is not rated highly.
What's that?
Soldier of Fortune Payback.
Oh, yeah. Well,
IGN
it's
gave it
one
a
of those
6.
games. It's one of those games though that it like I heard it as a kid and it's like, oh, I've always wanted to play that.
It's on Steam.
Like, is it?
There's I'm looking at it I'm looking at the discussion screenshots. I don't think you can purchase it on Steam anymore.
Gotcha.
But it looks like you used to be able to, because I see a bunch of people like on a Steam discussion page with screenshots they took from the game and everything. Yeah, so they're now available on GOG. So they took them off of Steam.
Gotcha. See, like, look, Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, Call of Pripyat, and Clear Sky.
I have those all on Steam.
What's one that's like really fucking old that I saw? Well, they recently put the Quake games back on Steam.
What about like the original Wolfenstein?
Yep.
Like the Doom clone Wolfenstein.
They have that on Steam too, though.
They do? Wolfenstein 3? Oh, yes, they do. It's $5.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to wishlist this. Never played the original Wolfenstein before. Yeah, we went off on a lot of tangents this episode.
We really did.
I'm just curious I'm curious to honestly see in the next, because like if you would have told me back in the Xbox 360 era that we would be where we are today with physical media being just so left behind, I would not have believed you. But like, nobody owns DVD players anymore. Everybody just watches Netflix or Disney Plus. Nobody owns CDs anymore. We all just load up Spotify or Apple Music or Pandora, and now we are on the way to the same.
It's not
thing.
nobody.
Most people, 90% of players in the gaming industry are buying their games digitally. That is enough for companies to consider slowing down their disc prints. And that's why when you buy a collector's edition, it doesn't even come with a game disc. It just comes with a...
But it comes with a steelbook.
Yeah, it comes with a steelbook with a little piece of paper with a code inside of it. Oh man, it's interesting to see all of these changes, but I do think that there needs to be some sort of consumer protection to protect us from servers shutting down. We should still be able to
protect us, Mr. Government.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some legality, because like Ubisoft with their whole deleting games thing, everybody collectively freaked out about it.
But they came out and said that they weren't deactivating people who purchased games. They were just... It was like the rewards things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for the free rewards, like the old Uplay rewards.
Uplay, and now it's Ubisoft. I remember like the old Uplay layout when it was like white and blue.
Yeah. Like they've already come out and said that it's not for anyone that purchased any games.
Yeah.
It's if you spent money on the platform, like you're good.
Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Looks like Kyle actually might have to get Schmoove in here. So,
What?
Did somebody just talk to you or something?
Yeah, Nick's fucking screaming, asking if I'm awake. I'm like, shut up, I'm recording my podcast, bro. God.
All right,
So
but
fucking
yeah,
loud
no,
for no reason.
this is one of our longest episodes yet.
Are you awake?
Yeah, basically.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Awesome.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield.
Physical media dying, Starfield. Physical media bad, Starfield. What else did we talk about? I don't even remember.
I don't know, but as always, I'm Caleb. That's Kyle. This is Ryan. Fuck Ryan.
Oh.
Fuck you, Caleb.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Get a better mic.
Wait, no. Ryan has to say Ryan. Whoa. First of all.
You did it.
No, you.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I always knew. See, this was a reason why they all feel comfortable with just spending the night.
This is why Kyle is the one coming in.